Next thing down here, I realize on yours, I believe you also have a row for gas. Oh, I need to go in and change the format of that cell. I tried to pick some types of expenses that you guys would potentially have even as high schoolers. Gas for your car, a cell phone, entertainment, clothes, miscellaneous. So your gas is probably a pretty steady dollar amount. I don't know if it's $40 to fill up your car and you have to fill up your car once a month. So let's just take that and assume we're going to need about $40 a month. So I'm just going to copy that across. Your cell phone, we've talked about this, a data plan costs $30 a month. Being linked to your parents' account costs another $10 a month. So you're looking at maybe another $40 a month. Again, you can adjust this to make it more realistic for you, or just simply do what I'm doing here. I think it's a fairly reasonable budget. So we're going to drag that across because that bill isn't going to go away. Entertainment. This one may fluctuate a lot for you, but if you go to a football game, that's $5. If you go out to eat, that's another $10, $15 depending where you go, maybe even $20 or $25. If you're taking a date, gentlemen, you should be respectful and you should pay for it. Well, then you might be spending $35 or $40 depending on how nice of a restaurant. So anyway, it can add up to a fair amount, but let's just assume, since we're on a roll with that $40 number, let's do $40. And then you probably also want to budget, I don't know, maybe $20 a month for clothes. Maybe not. Maybe you want to budget a lot more than that for clothes. But just say you're just going to plan on putting away $20 a month toward clothes. We should probably pause here for a second and figure out what our total expenses are. Are our total expenses going above what our total income is? Because if that's the case, obviously we've got a problem. So let's just kind of keep track of that. So we're going to add up. Again, we're going to do a sum of all of our expenses. So B10 to B19. And I see that so far for that month it's $224. So it looks like we're all right there. As it is, we would have $16 left over, but we should probably also budget a little bit of money for miscellaneous expenses. If you like to buy a donut or pieces of pizza on Mondays and Fridays, or you like to buy pop from the vending machine, or Arizona iced tea from the bookstore, whatever it may be, you probably go through a little bit of money on those sorts of expenses. So you know, I'd like to say, well, we can spend $20 a month on expenses, but that might not work for every month. So maybe what we really want is our miscellaneous expenses to be our total income minus the sum of all of our other spending. So that's one way to type it. So our miscellaneous expenses for this month could be $16. Sounds reasonable. But if we scroll over, we see over in July we would have budgeted for $68 in miscellaneous expenses, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't think you need to buy that many donuts or that many Arizona iced teas. So that leaves us in the spot where maybe we want to change this formula a little bit, where we say an if, and remember this whole sum right here, this B8 minus the sum of B10 through B18, that was our total money left over at this point. If that is less than $20, well, if that's true, then I might as well just spend that amount. I'll probably end up spending all of it. So I just copied and pasted that over. So again, if the money I have left over after all of my giving, saving, expenses is less than $20, well then I'm probably going to end up spending it all on miscellaneous. However, otherwise, in the other cases, if it's not less than $20 left, which would mean it's more than $20 left, well, then I only really need to budget for $20. So again, let's read through that if statement. It says if B minus 8, so my total income minus all my other expenses is less than $20, well, then I'll probably spend all of that money on miscellaneous items. Otherwise, I'll just budget $20 for miscellaneous items, and if I've got money left over, well, then I have a whole column to account for that. So let's hit enter there, and let's again drag that formula over, and now you can see in a couple months here where my income was a little bit lower, I didn't have quite as much for miscellaneous, but the other months I only spent $20 on my miscellaneous items. I also realize here I kind of forgot to drag over my total expenses formula, so I'm going to drag that one over. And then the last one then is how much money do I have left over? Well, that would be my total income minus my total expenses. Well, that first month I'm not going to have any money left over. Makes sense, I spent all my money. However, in May, June, July, and September I have a little bit of money left over. So we can kind of account for that. So it looks like a nice budget, and you could conceivably, as your work and your income changes, you could enter this data in. You could add extra months in here if you really wanted to. It's not too hard to add another month. I just went insert. Really, I kind of want to just copy everything over. Isn't that sweet? I copied an entire row. But then if my income changed to 240, well, it's going to change that. This didn't account when I did that insert. It messed up my formula, and it actually warned me of that. So I want to update my formula for all of these. So I'm going to update my formulas. Interestingly, I believe if I would insert a column right here, it should automatically account for that. So if you insert a column, it just has to do with the way it inserts. If you do an insert from one of the previous months, it works a little bit better. But let's undo both of those. Sorry if that made it confusing. Just ignore anything that I just said if that confused you. But now we've got a budget for April through October. I'm feeling like something is messing up on my expenses. No, it's not. My savings was $41.25, so my total expenses were $256.25 with $18.75 left over. And of course, if I changed my savings rate, if I decided I should really be saving more like 20%, well, that will automatically update all of these columns. Notice my miscellaneous spending went down in a couple months. My money left over went down in a couple months. So it's just a quick way to update your budget. So for any of you who need to keep track of money if you're working, this is a great way to set up a simple little budget, and it will calculate all of those things for you. Thank you.